Hello and how are you guys? Welcome back to a brand new album review on MegaBM. Looking again at another Ice Cube album. I think this is the 5th Ice Cube album we've done. We're kind of working now from the oldest to the recent, kind of back to front basically. We did Kill at Will last time. I think America's Most Wanted was before that. So we're now on to Death Certificate, which I believe is also considered quite a highly rated album of Ice Cube's. Obviously, the most infamous track from the album is No Vaseline, the diss track towards NWA on the end of the album. I believe it's track 16. Oh, it's longer than that. It's track 20. Never mind. Track 20, we do have quite a few inserts, so I don't think there's going to be 20 song reviews on this one. The first song on the album is the wrong N-word to fuck with. I'm not typing the N-word on the album review, okay? I was trying to work out what to actually put there instead of it, because I don't want to even type out the word. So I just gone with N-word. There you go. I thought about maybe should I just write it but like censored, but I wasn't too sure which one was less yikes, so I kind of went with just that. So you know what that word is, but I'm not typing it, you know. But first of all, we actually have like an introduction track called "The Funeral." So I don't think I'll need to review this one. It's just kind of like a setup for the rest of the album. Okay, so that was the wrong N-word to fuck with. Solid opening track, I think, from Ice Cube there. Pretty decent. Very, very similar in sound to Kill at Will so far, immediately from that track. It kind of feels like Kill at Will was basically like an introduction album to this. I'm not sure if that's how that was the case back in the early 90s when they came out, but that certainly is what it feels like. Yeah, it was a perfectly fine introduction. I just realized that it's not. I just realized it's not tracking. Is it not tracking? Okay, it's not tracking it. Hold on. Let me just fix something real quick. I don't care. We're going with that. Yeah, I'd say that was a 6 out of 10. Well, that was a pretty solid opening track. Next up is My Summer Vacation. So, hopefully, we'll continue a decent trend. It has been a little while since we had an 8 out of 10 in these reviews. It's been a little while. I'm kind of hoping we get one out of this album. Okay, now that was My Summer Vacation, and that was a good track. That was a really solid track. Wow, really impressed. I was unsure whether that was going to be a 7 or an 8 for a long time of that. I think it was quite funky. It had good lyrics from Ice Cube. Really killed that track. Yeah, a little bit different as well to the kind of some of the stuff on Kill at Will and the previous track as well. But yeah, I need a little bit more to it. I feel like it needed a little bit more funk, and it was going to be really good. I think that's a 7 out of 10. But really good start to the album so far. Really, really solid. Next up is Steady Mobbin'. Hopefully, this continues. And that was Steady Mobbin'. Another solid track so far. I feel like it wasn't quite as gripping me as My Summer Vacation, but it was still very, very solid. 6 out of 10. Bit more of a grimy beat. It was less of a it's not like grime, but like it's a bit not less funk. Basically, it was a bit more. Definitely leaning into more of the kind of traditional gangster rap style, right? But yeah, still pretty good. Next up is another insert, and then the next track is I don't actually know. I'm guessing this is slang that I actually don't know what it means. So sorry if this is like. It says giving up the nappy dugout. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Is that in reference to something? What does it mean by nappy? To me, a nappy is like what babies wear, right? It's not. Is it referring to? It's not referring to babies' nappies, right? That's not. It's not. Okay. But the insert's called Robin Lench. Okay, and that was given up the. I'm not going to say the word now. Dug out. So I don't quite understand the context that much. I googled the word during that song and the insert, and it's definitely got a serious racial connotation behind it. I've never heard it used before. It must be an American-only racist term. I'm assuming. Um, but I'm not gonna say it now. just just I won't. I'm not gonna say something that's racist, basically. And because it can be used in a racist way, I'm not gonna say it. Apologies if I offended anyone by saying it beforehand. I didn't know what the word meant. But for the song, in terms of the actual song itself, very good. Really, once again, good amount of funk to it. I thought this is pretty Ice Cube's weakest, really, on the album so far. I feel like he didn't quite bring his A game, but I think what the content was there was good enough. But I've really liked the backing track to that one. I thought that was really like smooth and funky, really nice. We got definitely got a little bit of a vibe kind of coming out of this album compared to Kill It Will and America's Most Wanted. It's definitely got a little bit different style to it. It weirdly doesn't feel as gangster rap. Really, it doesn't feel quite in that category compared to like America's Most Wanted, which was like full blown kind of NWA style rap. Kill It Will kind of also took a lot of that, but was slightly changed. This one feels like it's going in its own direction, which I suppose does mimic Ice Cube's career at the time. But yeah, really solid album so far. Next up is Look Who's Burning. Hopefully this album continues. That was Look Who's Burning. Yeah, really solid track. Really solid track again from Cube. That song was about STDs. Interesting one. Which is not the first time he's talked about that. I'm pretty sure he's talked about that a couple times before now. I'd say that's probably the most kind of right out in there topic on it. Yeah, really good. Really good use of kind of samples as well on that one. Really liked it. Not quite funky exactly, but it was smooth. It was considering the subject matter, it kind of just flowed quite well. It was not that serious. It kind of talked quite. It was a bit serious, not too much. Kind of joking around a little bit with the concept. But yeah, generally pretty good. I think that's another 7. I think that's really like we've had a really good time so far with this album. Really good job so far. Now this one is only 2 minutes 17. I'm assuming it's a track, not an insert. However, I don't know, and it's called A Bird in the Hand. Hopefully, I've not Gand. It's Hand. Hopefully we're going to get an 8 out of 10. I think we were getting pretty close to one. So that was A Bird in the Hand. Quite a short track, actually. But, yeah, really solid. Once again, really, like, interesting instrumental there. Kind of a bit more kind of... I don't want to say garage. It was just a bit unique. It was not quite what I was expecting from an Ice Cube album, but I think it actually worked pretty well. I think that's a 6. I think that was really solid. Once again, quite smooth, slower track from Ice Cube. He's not as aggressive as some of his later tracks. His later albums, he comes across as a lot more aggressive than what he is currently. But yeah, really solid so far. Next up is Man's Best Friend, and we actually are surprisingly around halfway through the album. But because we've obviously seen so many inserts, it makes it like feel like, oh, are we? we still got quite a few inserts left as well. There's still a few left. And that was Man's Best Friend, which was another very short track on the album so far. Yeah, pretty decent. Pretty decent so far. I feel that was maybe the weakest track on the album though. Just it kind of just felt like more of the same compared. A Bird in the Hand was like a bit unique to itself, nothing quite like it on the album so far. Man's Best Friend felt like an extension of that track for some reason. It didn't really feel like its own thing. I think it's a 5. It's still like perfectly listenable, but yeah, not that exciting. Alive on Arrival is next. Let's see how this goes. And that was Alive on Arrival, which was yeah, it was fine. It was fine. I feel like, again, just it was good, but didn't quite grip me with anything different. It just kind of felt like another track from the album so far. It was still fine. Like nothing here has been really bad. I'm just waiting for something to really kind of grip me on this album so far. I think it's probably a 5. It's unfortunate because it just felt a bit similar to the previous 2 songs, but longer, which I think was probably what dragged it down a little bit. Next is the insert Death, and then Birth, which I think is also an insert, and then I Wanna Kill Sam. So I think this is the actual next track. And that was I Wanna Kill Sam. And wow, what a improvement on the previous 3 tracks. That's more like it. That is more like it. That is what I like to see from Cube. That was good. Bit more funk to it, bit more aggression, just a lot faster, and just really, yeah, just great. Pretty much everything was good in that track. Honestly, 8 out of 10. I think that's an 8 out of 10. I think we got it. I think we finally got 8 out of 10 from this album. Really, really solid. Can't wait to hear the rest of the album, to be quite honest. See if it continues this streak. Next up is Horny Lil Devil. A strange song title. And that was Horny Little Devil, which was a very strange track about like it seemed to be about fetishization of black women. I've not heard a track like that before. Like kind of the racial connotations behind white people fetishizing black people, which it was a good track. I thought that was really good. I thought especially the instrumental was really good. Good amount of funk to it, really catchy. Ice Cube did a pretty good job on the track as well. I thought that was generally a pretty good song. I think that's a 7 out of 10. I thought that was really good. Next up, the insert Black Korea. So we're going to go review that. After that is True to the Game. Let's see how this one goes. So that was True to the Game. Really solid track there. Really solid. Yeah, just continues to just kill it on this album. He's continuing. This is a fucking immense album from him. Once again, just really good backing track, really good flow to him. Ice Cube killed it again. That's another 7. Another 7. Oh, it's really hard to kind of pin down, I think, trying to like get into 8s, 9s, and 10s era like stuff. Area. Just because a lot of these songs that are getting 7s on this album, I think are really good songs. However, they work really well within the album. To kind of get 8 and above, I think they really need to stand out and be their own song outside of that. But yeah, without even considering that, still a fantastic album. Next up is Colorblind. And we're getting to the end of the album here. And hopefully it continues. We're not going to get something horrific here, surely, before we finally get to No Vaseline at the end to really finish this album off. And that was Colorblind. A bit of a downgrade, I think, on the rest of the album so far. Didn't really, I don't know, it just didn't really feel like it kind of really took the album. Kind of felt like a bit of a, considering how good the previous 3 tracks were, kind of boring. Nothing to it really that kind of gripped me. I thought Ice Cube as well just didn't really bring his A game for that one. Also, very long. Very long. 4.5 minutes is like really long for a track. Especially after True to the Game, which is already 4 minutes 10, to then spend another 4 minutes 30 on the next track. It's really, that just felt like it dragged quite a bit there. That's really unfortunate. Next up is Doing Dumb Shit. And that was Doing Dumb Shit. And my god, this album keeps on hitting. It keeps on hitting. What is happening here? This is such a good track. This was such a good track, honestly. The instrumental was great. Ice Cube killed it again. Flow was fantastic. Good amount of funk to it as well. Really like funky beat to that one. Proper nice production there. 8 out of 10. Fantastic. 8 out of 10. I can't believe how good this album's been. We've not had a single like genuinely bad song here. Next up is Us before the final track. And that was Us. Compared to the previous 3 tracks, I think, with the exception of Colorblind, obviously, I thought that was a bit of a disappointment. I didn't think it was good. It was still good. It was better than Colorblind, but I don't know. It didn't really click with me. It still had that quite like somewhat aggressive Ice Cube style, but I don't know. It just didn't really like. Especially after Doing Dumb Shit. Doing Dumb Shit was just so much better. Just overshadows that track completely. Really unfortunate. But the last track on the album is the infamous No Vaseline diss track against NWA. Oh my god. I'm excited. Granted, it's 5 minutes 13. And that was No Vaseline. The finishing track to Death Certificate. What a finish. What a finish. Absolutely fantastic. What can you say about No Vaseline at this point? I mean, it's one of the most destructive and fantastic diss tracks ever written. It's hands down the best track on this album as well. Fantastic finish to the album in track 20. I think No Vaseline gets the first 10 out of 10 on the review show. An absolute devastating track. I think things like diss tracks that like are very clearly diss tracks kind of have a certain kind of different review metric. If you know it's an attacking track to someone else, you kind of want to also rank how good does it do at basically just absolutely fucking up who it's aimed at. And No Vaseline pretty much destroyed NWA single-handedly. Absolutely fantastic track. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Overall, on the album itself as a whole, easily the best album we've ever reviewed on this show. Absolutely fantastic from start to finish. Highly recommend listening to this album. Absolutely amazing. And especially, obviously, working your way to No Vaseline at the end to finish the album off. But there's really good tracks in this album just from start to finish. A couple kind of down bits in the middle and near the end, but overall really good. Cube actually killed it. Cube killed it on this album, and I think there's a reason why Cube is considered one of the best in the industry at diss tracks, and it's because of this album. Thanks for watching, guys. I shall see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.